Welcome to Home Designs by Amanda. Today I don't really have a project in mind just yet. I'm just gonna show you a few things. It's the holidays are over, the new catalog starts, and so I'm just gonna show you some things to get me started on videos and getting ready to do the new catalog, and I'm just getting back into
Let's go ahead and
let's look at this. This is some coloring I did on some of the designer series paper from the new catalog. It's the petal. These pieces are cut in half. It is a 12 by 12 paper. This is cut in half, so this is 12 by 6 sections so that they fit in my little case I have here for when I want to do some blend coloring. Let me grab my catalog so I can get some names, so I can give you the proper names, because I don't remember what all of them are. I know that I really like this paper, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of DSP. I figure I have the stamps, I can make my own, but I do like this. It's quick and easy, that it's already made, and then I can just sit down and start coloring. I don't have to like try to make something and then color it. But it is down here. It is the Petal Passion Designer Series paper, and I colored it with the new blend markers, and those are also in the catalog as well this time. You don't need that extra little pamphlet that we had in November and December when they first came out. So here they have the Stampin Blends, and they have a couple more stamp sets that kind of go along with the blends. They're not the only ones that you can use. There's definitely quite a few stamp sets this time around that can be colored in if you get the blends and the memento ink, and then you're gonna be able to color them in, like these little animals here. Those would be fun. I like the hedgehogs with little hedgehogs, but I've not ordered that one yet. But those are cute. They do come with some shading already done, but that would still work with the blends, work well with the blends. I will be doing a catalog walkthrough here. Either I'll get it posted or already have it posted before I post this one. I'm not sure yet. But we'll see how my evening goes. But like this one here, they have it highlighted with the Brusho colors, which are a new item that they're carrying as well. I did not get those. They're a crystal kind of watery color thing. I guess not really up my alley, so I just didn't worry about it right now. But these are big open stamp sets that you could easily use that with, or you could use your blends with them to color them in with that stamp set as well. So let's see, let's go ahead and use our blends a little bit. I like the way this turned out. This is just some washi I had on hand. This is some cardstock that I was gifted this Christmas, so it is not Stampin' Up! Cardstock, but it's almost the exact same color as Pool Party, which really matched my Pool Party Bermuda Bay that I had going on here. So that was nice, so I really liked that. And then this is just some of the stamps. They're not from the Petal Passion stamp set, because I have that where I'm going to order that, but I do not have that yet. These stamps are from the Perennial Birthday. That's why I had to pause there. I had to remember where they were from, because they're not out of that suite. I did not buy that suite together. I'm buying it in stages. But I bought the Perennial Birthday the day they had the free shipping. And so that's what's used here, that matches well with just the different flowers. So that's a nice thing that you can coordinate throughout the catalog, different items. So these are from this stamp set, but yet they still coordinate with the Petal DSP. Okay, so I did that, and I'll go ahead and show you my inside as well. This is just a regular composition notebook. Well, actually, it's not a regular one. It's a graph paper one, but you know what I mean. It's just a regular dollar composition notebook that you get at the tablet section of Walmart, you know. But this is another piece of the DSP, and I just took my blends and colored up it in a gradient kind of fashion all the way up. I used probably 5 or 6 different colors to get that, and then I just glued that down, and I glued down I think I used tear and tape for this. I put down a piece of tear and tape, put down the ribbon, and then put another piece of tear and tape down with the DSP, and so now I have a ribbon in that I can keep track of my spot where I'm at for my next notes from the next service that we have. So that's what I did there. I did go through with a few of my different stamps and stamped a few pages here and there, but I haven't gotten a whole lot done with that. I do want to do a few more, but I was just real quickly going through and stamping a few pages. I may or may not get more done, I don't know. But that was what I did. That was my one project. That I colored that that section of my DSP on Christmas Day. That was a fun afternoon project while I was at my in-laws. Another thing that I did with the blends. So I'm going to call this my blend highlight video. Oh wait, maybe I should show you the blends, right? I just have them in a paper pumpkin box. And I did not even make the fancy little divider thingies that they have for them. Like, that people have videos. I've watched the videos of them making these fancy dividers for the pens. Yeah, I don't think so. I just grab them out of here as I want them. I can have a layer there and a layer in my little travel case thing that I have for my papers, and it all works. So then I just know that I need to have it either laying flat or I have to have it on an end so that I keep my pens laying horizontally. So I just try to remind myself not to put it on either of the long ends, because we don't want them to be sitting perpendicular, because then they would dry out on the other end. So there are just an alcohol marker that you want to keep laying horizontally. So what I mean by my case is I have this case. You probably can't see all of it because, you know, I would have to adjust my camera and stuff. But it's just one of those, like, art cases that you get the kids that have, like, sort of junky stuff in. You know, like the little set of watercolored paints and pastels and colored pencils, you know. Well, I ripped out the inside and I'm using it for my case. So I cut down some large paper I had, scrap paper. It's just free paper that my husband had gotten from work that they didn't use for printers that are like long out of date, you know, that kind of thing. So I put some in there so I have a protective place to work, especially if I'm like on the go. Because like I took this with me to church the one day when we were having a longer teen activity, and over here on my other side I just have things that I had cut that I wanted to work on. Didn't necessarily get too much. So see, like this one I got started on, but I haven't finished it up. It's actually part of what I cut off from what I used on my tablet. And then I was working on this. I tried this. What I did with this was I took a piece of tracing paper and sat it over top of, I believe it was this, I don't remember which way I did this to get it to look like that. Maybe it was even a different piece of paper, I don't know. But I had it over top of the paper to see how it looked once I took it off. It doesn't seem to blend as well together, the markers on here, but it does give it a neat look, even though they're not like blended together. But the nice thing is that it doesn't bleed through the tracing paper. You can see it bleeding through on the regular designer series paper, but it also has a nice smoother blending ability than it had on here. So there's your different like options, so that's kind of neat. But the one day while we were at church, I did start working on a coloring sheet that I had pulled out of just a coloring book that one of my girls had. You know, the adult kind of, they're not adults, but they like those adult coloring book type things too. So I did this with the blends. Again, it seems like it doesn't blend maybe quite as well as it does on designer series paper or Whisper White, but it still gives it a nice look. I still like the way it looks. Did get a little too close and have quite a bit of bleed out on the birds. I would cut it down just slightly more, and I'm thinking about putting it across the bottom. So let me see. I don't think I have a card base out. So say I use this as a card base. This is Soft Sky. If I use the Soft Sky and I put it here, I'm thinking that's what I want. And then I would have like the cinnamon up here, maybe some ribbon or something across there. Kind of like my what my sermon notebook looked like, only in card form. So I think what we'll do is go ahead and cut that extra. So I have a 3 by 5.5 inch piece of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper. There is like a smudgy there, but I think we can cover that up if we decide to do the whole background. And it's after Christmas, so a lot of spring colors are starting to be used, but it's also kind of wintry here. I mean, we've got feet of snow. I don't know how many feet we have. I know Erie, which is only about 20 minutes to half an hour, actually probably a half hour north of here, they got 7 feet in a week. So, you know, we had quite a bit this past weekend after they got their majority of theirs. But with the, I think I do want to do like the blues and the Bermudas and the pool party here. And then, okay, so I'm going to go with the cool, since it's still snowy around here, we're still going to do green, which the only green so far is the Old Olive. Nice color, probably my favorite green so far, but it is kind of like the only green in blends right now, so that's kind of disappointing, but we'll work with it. I'm going to get out grays, blues, and we'll have the Old Olive for our leaves. So we'll go ahead and we're going to just do some coloring. I did find that I like to put down the lighter color first, blend in with my dark where I want it, and then go over it again with the light. Seems to be the technique I like the best with it, for me. You might like it going dark to light, or you might have some other movement that you prefer. But I'm going to start with this blue for some of these bigger flowers, and I'm going to just try to be the light, because even though this is the light Night of Navy, it seems pretty dark. That's okay, we could even put it on a nice dark Night of Navy card base with some white cardstock trim, and that could look really pretty. Alright, so I'm gonna try to get close but not go too far, because I don't want bleeding out from where I have them in the flowers. Not to mention those are kind of dark. So I'm going to do a few over here as well. And then I'll show you what I do to go. Let me just do that one and I'll show you what. And then I just kind of go over, and with the flowers I like to do the lighter tips and darker middles most of the time. Sometimes I try to change it up, but usually that seems to work the best. And this Night of Navy seems really dark. So we can take our color lifter too, And if we want to like kind of blend them a little and bring out a little bit lighter of coloring, we can do that. And if you get color on it, see how there's like a little bit of blue, I just kind of wipe that off on the scrap paper. Especially if you're moving between colors. Right now I'm still just doing all blue, so it doesn't matter as much. But if I was moving between colors, then I would want to definitely make sure I'm wiping it all off before I move colors. Some people suggest that you get like the blender pens for different color families. I have not. I have another blender pen, but I have not found that I really need to make that move with my money. So you can see how this is definitely bleeding through a lot, so you definitely want to have something protecting your work surface. That's why I have the scrap paper in my little case there, and I have it here because the blends are alcohol markers, so they are bleeding. They are going to bleed through your paper. We'll speed through it with a little bit of music here, and you can just hopefully enjoy. You know what? I just saw my yellow markers, and you know what? I think I might throw that in just to give it a little bit of color to keep us happy as it's darker out and overcast a lot. Although the sun was out a little bit today, even though we had cold temperatures. Okay, so for these ones that I had started out, they were in Pool Party, light and dark. And then I added a little bit of the dark Bermuda Bay, and then the light Bermuda Bay, and they still seemed like they needed to smooth a little bit more, so I added a little bit more dark Pool Party. So they got a little darker, so they almost look like the Bermuda Bay ones. But that gives you quite a gradient here. Oops, doing Pool Party with Bermuda Bay. So that's nice there. And I do think that I'm going to do these little flowers in yellow. There's these extra little flowers like right here. Like they look kind of like poppies. So I might grab like I might do like the coral just to give it another color, so that I have all of these, because I don't have like another. If I had one more lighter blue, I might just do that to keep it less colors, but I want to have it a different color than ones that I've already done, and I don't know how, unless I do a little bit of gray and Pool Party. That might give you a neat looking third color of blue. Let's try that, just because I want to see what we can do with these. So I'm going to do some light Smoky Slate and light Pool Party and see what we can do on this one. We'll start with this one, because this one I can cut off or cover with something if I really don't like the way it turns out. And this is, like I said, this is the light Pool Party. And we'll do a little bit of light gray. I do tend to use just the brush end. I like it a lot better. And then, but there is the nib, like the, if I can get it off, the pointy end too. Which I'm sure at times will come in handy, but right now it's just kind of not the one I'm using. So I'm going to take the blender pen and just kind of go over it, blend them together out, and maybe lighten it a little. And we'll see what kind of color that gives us. That kind of gives us a different kind of color, a light color there. We'll see how that goes. Different shading, definitely, but I definitely got outside the lines on that one. Let me move my chair over here. I usually have it over here. We might do that. Let's do some of our our yellows here real quick while I decide whether I like that or not. So I did decide to go with the Pool Party gray color lifter combination for these other ones. And then if you notice there that I did use my nib end, whatever you want to call that, the fine point end. I don't know if they have exact names or not. With the fine point end to put the little bit of a vein in my leaves. And then I'm thinking that I don't really want to color in the background there. I think what I want to do is just go ahead and have it so that it can go on the piece of cardstock right there. You know what, and let's just use this. I had this out, this perennial birthday one that I showed you with that I used with this same designer series paper set, because since I don't have the one that goes with the set yet, it's just, well, will be tomorrow. And we'll just do let's go ahead and pick which happy birthday do we want to do. I think kind of the big one might look kind of neat across the top here, like right there. We'll do the big happy birthday across there, and we're going to go ahead and put that in. I'm going to put it in on there in Night of Navy. Down here, and I did use Soft Sky for my background because it matches pretty close to that Pool Party smoky slate color I got going here, so we don't want to cover that up too much because it kind of is what tying into our card base. But I also want to see about pulling our distraction away from this right there. I do have these couple that came in a spring paper pumpkin. This one's the Soft Sky Pool Party kind of color. That one's not the right color. We could do a black or white that I got. One of these was from I think this one was from a paper pumpkin, and this one was a Project Life kit when it was going out of commission. So you could do that. We could do that or that. I think I like the black and white with it, but I think I want the narrower one. It's a good thing our Night of Navy isn't quite that noticeable, being whether it's Night of Navy or black, because of the watery color. So I think what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and cover up halfway, because you can see the paper behind the washi, but we're going to cover it about halfway so that it kind of looks like it's supposed to be that way. So there's my front, and you know, you could just leave it like that. It could be that simple. And then we'll go on the inside, we'll just do one of the flowers. I think I'll do this flower here, out of the perennial birthday. And we're going to just leave it whatever color we stamp it. And since I stamped Night of Navy on the outside, I guess I'll do that on the inside too, even though we did go with black washi. So there was a quick-ish, one layer-ish happy birthday card that had absolutely no plan, and yet it's still pretty cute. That is quick and easy. You could get it done if you had the urge to do a little bit of coloring but needed to get a birthday card done too. So I like to color now and then, but it's nice to have a project in mind when you're doing it so that it feels useful, that it's not like just kind of like wasting time. Kind of my feelings anyway. Well, thank you for coming to create with me today. I hope you enjoyed the blog post. The link will be down below. If you have any questions about any of the products used, just let me know. It is items from the new occasions catalog were used for this, and I will be doing a walkthrough of that soon. So thank you for coming to create with me. I hope you come back again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!